It's always fun when the technology person has technical problems. It just makes you all feel better and makes you realize that we're all human and these things can happen to any one of us. So, like I said, we're going to be talking about clickers today. And on campus here, we have partnered with a company called Turning, and they're the ones that provide our clicker system that can be used both with physical devices in a classroom setting, or what we're going to talk about today with our mobile devices or a website to be able to get answers and responses from a Zoom session like this. So what we're going to do is I'm going to let you guys know there's two ways to respond, like I just said. We can respond with our mobile devices on any iOS or Android device. There is a Turning Point app that students can download and use. It's a really easy way because it keeps all their information right there. They just log into the app and they're good to go. The other option, and what I'm going to have you all actually do today, because you guys get to be the student today and actually respond to questions. So I'm going to have you guys log into this website called ttpoll.com. So if you guys want to go there right quick. And what you're going to see there is it's going to ask you for a session ID. So that was ttpoll.com. It's going to ask you for a session ID, and my session ID is UTOIT. Say, is everyone there? Awesome. Okay, so one thing I want to mention about this is that with our technology fee that we do on campus, all students have access to Turning and a license. For the in-classroom devices, if you want to teach in a classroom, they do have to purchase those, but all the online is based on this license, and they don't have to purchase anything extra for this. So we're just going to dive right into it, and I'm going to go through some example questions of how you can actually use this in your class. Today, I'm using the Turning Point desktop app, which they've rebranded as Turning Classic, and I'm going to be doing this all via PowerPoint. So if you generally teach via PowerPoint, this integrates directly with it. The other option is an app that's included in it called Turning Point Anywhere, and that allows you to ask questions over any other applications. So our first question here is, where are you from? This will pop up on your phone as an image or in your website as the image, and you can click anywhere on this map. And I see I have 3 responses. So one of the things that you guys can't see because it doesn't transmit via Zoom, but I've got a little control bar up here that tells me how many responses I've gotten so far. So you can actually see how your students are responding, if they're responding quickly or not. So I'm going to go to my next one here, and we can actually see where you all responded from. So we've got quite a few around the United States here. We've got one over, looks like, is that Korea? So this is a neat way to be able to do this. For those of you that have just joined, we went to a website called ttpoll.com. I just put it in the chat, and our session ID is UTOIT. And you can join in to these questions as we're going through it. But this type of question is what they call a hotspot question. You can put any image as your response area and have them click on it. The map is a great one for an icebreaker, just to get people familiar with it. I've seen some of our faculty use this with, one of them was a biology person. They had a heart on the screen and they said, select the left ventricle. And so you could do that. Now, this one is not a graded question, but you can actually grade these for correctness. There is no correct answer for where you are from. So the whole map is just there for you. And as we're going through this, if you have questions, please speak up. And once again, I apologize for my camera not working. It was literally working an hour ago. And yep, the fun of technology. Our next question is a short answer question type. This is one where you get to actually respond with what you want. Ji-Yoon, did you have a question?
Yes, I do have. Are you gonna show us how to create this question in the clicker, turning as an instructor?
I'm not going to show you today. We do have a online Canvas course that actually walks you through all of that. And then I'm available for consultation to help you through any other questions.
So I went through that course and then I was confused to create the question in the PowerPoint. I was able to using attendancy and others through the clicker, but I could not make it success to create question in the turning. So I purchased eventually I purchased different websites, which is Kahoo in my pocket money, but I wanted to using in the future, I wanted to using this turning in a class.
Yeah, I'd be happy to meet with you and we can set up an appointment and I can actually help you through all that to make sure it's working correctly for you.
Thank you.
So this question type, like I said, is a short answer. So you get to actually just put in your answer and then you're going to have a little enter or an airplane or an arrow button to submit answers for this one. So this just gives you the ability to get in there and do a quick short answer type. This is limited to 255 characters. But the nice thing is here is that you can actually type in correct answers to be able to allow it to grade it for you. So right now I see I have no responses. Does anyone want to try responding to this one? Okay, there we go. I got 2 responses now. So I'm going to go ahead and go on. We've got, I don't know, no idea, and The Rock. And the correct answer is The Rock. It's our natural message board. We get to go paint it and have fun with it. And that's over near the music building right across the street from the health center. So as a student here, I did get to participate in a painting once. It's a lot of fun going out there. I think ours lasted 45 minutes before someone painted over it. So another option you have are multiple choice, and multiple choice are our most common question type asked here on campus. They're easy. They're very quick to set up and do. All of our multiple choice questions have up to 10 responses. Now, the neat thing with these multiple choices, you can have them the standard multiple choice, which allows a person to select one answer, or you have a multiple choice with multiple answers. So you can have 10 options up there and say, pick your top 3, and they could put 3 in there. So it takes the place of our old Scantron forms that were A, B, and C, and then you had D was A and B and that type of thing. So you could actually have them choose multiple responses. So let's go on. We've got 3 responses here. And the correct answer here is actually Europa and the bull, and that sets over in the fountain over in outside humanities. So, but the nice thing about these types of questions, as you can see right here, I've got a correct answer indicator. So that you can actually tell the students what their correct answer is. And then on the side over here, you get to see the distribution of answers. So the great thing about using this turning system, these clickers in an online live class is you're going to have a lot of students that are not going to want to speak up over the mic, are not going to actually type anything into your chat, but they'll respond like this, and you can actually gauge how your teaching style is if they're paying attention or if they're actually understanding the information that you're doing. One of the neat things you can do, and I'm just going to show you this example here, is I can actually re-poll this question. So this question will actually come back up. So if they didn't get something and if they didn't understand it, you can actually re-poll, re-ask the question after you taught them a little bit and see if they get it now. So I'm just going to go ahead and skip on to the next one, but we got one answer correct there. So you can see how this would be beneficial. Like I said, the other option is you can have up to 10 options in a multiple choice. So with here, we've got a lot of dates. One of the things that we have been recommended, and this is why I like this slide a lot, is when you're using numbers in your answer, make sure that you have your options as A, B, C, D. Disability Services has talked to us and told us that if you have a number answer and then your stuff is listed as 1, 2, 3, 4, it causes confusion. So the default with turning is the alphabet. So we just leave it as the default. So it works really well for that. And as you can see, we do have 10 options here. And we've got one response. So I'm going to jump ahead here. We got 2. So let's there. So the correct response is 1879. I like using UT trivia for this stuff because it's just kind of fun to learn more about our campus. Now, this one should be an easy one. This is another example of the short answer. And this time I just have a picture in the question type there too, so that it makes it easier for people to see. So you can use that hotspot question type to actually have them tap on an image, or you can use images as your questions to be able to gauge responses from our individual students. So I'm going to go ahead, and we got the response of a torchbearer, and that is correct. So my next question is, this one it's similar to our short answers, but this one is what is called a word cloud answer. So if we get multiple responses of the same answer, it's going to get big on the screen, and then different answers are going to be smaller. Word clouds are great for some of those opening questions to just gauge interest, gauge if people are actually being able to type into their phones and those types of things, and for icebreakers. So let's see what we've got here. We've got Smokey with a heart and Smokey, and the correct answer is Smokey. Now, the great thing about this, and I don't have the back end of this up, but on the back end, I can actually have it check for correct answers in these short answer questions. And I can actually have it do common misspellings. So I actually have it in the background of, with a lot of common misspellings of Smokey with the E, Smokey without the E, and all those different things. Now, I would have to go in there and add Smokey with a heart to get that one to count as a correct answer. But the great thing about this is you can go and edit your responses afterwards, edit your correct answers, so it will go back and regrade everyone as one fell swoop. Let's go with one more question. Now, I know it's still early. I mean, it's only 11 o'clock, and I know I've had a couple cups of coffee, but I had to throw in a math problem for you. So one of our other question types is a math numeric answer only. So, but I'm going to help you guys out. So the equation for area is 1/2 times base times height. So I couldn't let you guys just flounder there, but this does have the ability to do math-centric problems as well to just make it easier on you to be able to ask those questions. You can actually set correct answer ranges. So if it's a range of numbers you're looking for, you can have a range in there, or you can have an exact answer. And let's go on. And the answer is 10. Good job, y'all. Math is one of those things. It's a lot of fun, but you can do a lot of different things with this system. So after you get done presenting, your turning data is all saved on your computer. So this is all saved locally on your computer. Now you do have the option to edit responses, remove questions, those types of things afterwards. So you can adjust student scores and everything. But the key here is you do have to upload your session data to Canvas for those grades to go into Canvas. So, but this gives you the ability to interact with those and upload those as you will have whatever you decide to do. Any questions so far?
So just for logistics, when an instructor is incorporating this into, say, their Canvas course, would they just have a link on their Canvas course that, you know, at that time the students know that they're supposed to go to that?
So the best practice for this is they will actually put a module in their Canvas course to help the students set up their clicker account, their turning account at the beginning of the semester. And then each session, they will tell their students to either jump onto their Turning Point application or log into the website and use that session ID. Now that session ID, you can reserve a session ID like mine is the UTOIT, or they can have it randomly generate a number every time so that every time the students come there, they're given a different session ID. So for some of our faculty that teach in person, they like the random one because then students really need to be in the classroom to be able to see what the session ID is. But you can do the reserved one so the students know they come to class, they're going to come into UTOIT every class period and wait for the questions to come up on their screen. So,
and then just as a best practice within the module, it would let them know if this is going to be uploaded for grading or if it's not. That
yes. Yeah. So we have a lot of faculty that actually upload for grades. They use these as in-class quizzes. We have a lot of faculty that upload every session that they do and they give participation points. So some of mine here are graded for correctness, and it's either a 5 or a 0. You get that many points. Or we have some faculty that, like I said, use this for participation. So they will have every question be like 2 points for correct answer and 1 point for the incorrect. So as long as you're participating, you're getting points. So especially in this online environment, this past year, we noticed, like I said before, a lot of people don't want to have their cameras on. They don't want to talk on their mics, and they just want to sit there and listen. By doing this, by adding these clicker questions into the course, it gives them the ability to respond, get class participation, and notify you as the instructor that they are paying attention, that they're actually listening, and what you are saying is actually coming through the way you want it to. Yes. Did you have a question?
Yeah, yes, I have a question. So you said we can get the score from the individual participant, right? So does it mean, can I see the student's name through this clicker once we
Yes.
finish all of lecture, and then how many scores they got through the questions?
Yes, so you'll be able to see each individual student. You can actually go in, and in the reports in the back end, you can actually look at what the student responded and how they responded.
I mean,
so you can
I
get
see the individual student's name, because they don't register these clickers through their name?
Yes.
Am I correct?
So these clickers, they are required. They can only register them through their UT email address. So when it's registered through their email address, it actually pulls everything through the single sign-on. So students' names and everything are linked to their clicker accounts.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. So that option was all for a synchronous class, kind of like what we're doing today, where we're able to interact and talk back and forth, and you can do this live and get your responses. So we do have those options for some of those options for a asynchronous type thing, where you're just putting the information out there and with the expectation that the students are going out there and looking at it. With that, our clickers, our turning system does have an option. Their web-based version is called Turning Pro. It's completely web-based. And with it, you can create self-paced question lists that can be scheduled for student access. And then the students will, if they've got the app on their phone, they will actually get a notification on their phone and saying, hey, this quiz is open. But one of the things that is here is, just like with our live sessions, you will need to sync those scores to Canvas yourself. This does take a little bit more work to build in, but you can do this. Some of the other options for an asynchronous environment is you do have Canvas quizzes. So this would automatically get graded and automatically be in your grade book, where you won't have to worry about that second step of syncing the grades over. In the Canvas quizzes, they have a lot of the same question types and same abilities. You do actually have a little bit more control in the Canvas quizzes. And this is what I recommend. Turning is great for a synchronous environment because you can gauge feedback instantaneously. In the asynchronous, these Canvas quizzes are amazing because you can actually set a time limit. So let's say you have a quiz for your students. You want to give them 30 minutes to complete it. When they open it, a timer starts and they have 30 minutes to complete it. So it helps with some of that stuff. You've got some of that same ability of setting dates and times. You can actually set, in 2 days from now, the correct answers would be available for the students to go back and look at and see what they got wrong. But with the Canvas quizzes, once again, it's all integrated inside Canvas. So it makes it a lot easier to manage with that. Another option is through UT, we have Qualtrics, which is a survey tool. This has a lot of power to it. I've seen some faculty that really like this for different things. The great thing about Qualtrics is that you can create some unique branching in there. So based on question answers, they get different questions. So that is available. Holly, you asked about Question Pro. Question Pro is still available on campus, and I think we've got it for another year. We just, the contract with Qualtrics was redone, so we have that through 2026 now. So Question Pro is still out there. I know in reading some more about this is Qualtrics just has a little bit more power in the back end than Question Pro does. One slide that I forgot to put in here is that you do have the ability to use Microsoft Forms or Google Forms. So if you just want to do something quick and easy, those two options are available to you as well. Red cap. So UT as a whole does not have red cap. There is ability to get red cap based on some of the things, and I don't remember what all the qualifications are there, but they're for the higher end research type things. You can go out and do a search for red cap on our site, because I remember reading about this. It's through the UT Health Institute, but they do grant licenses to certain activities on campus to be able to use red cap. So yeah, so that is an option too. Some of these Qualtrics, red cap, Excel forms, and Google Forms, with all those, you would have to manually enter your data into Canvas to record scores or that type of thing. If you're just using these to gain information from your students, any one of those work well. I know Qualtrics, Google, and Excel will all dump out into spreadsheets so that you can do quick analysis and everything like that on it. So it just depends on what your end goals are and what you want to accomplish to be able to do. So I know we don't have that much time left. I was trying to get a lot of information out to you guys very quickly. So what questions do you guys have?
I was just going to ask if is there any benefit of turning over Canvas quizzes? I'm in agreement with you. I think just using the Canvas quizzes and I want to plug the Canvas Studio and the video quizzes that you can include. I think those are so cool. But is there any benefit of using Turning instead of a Canvas quiz?
Turning's real power, like I said, comes with the synchronous. You get instant feedback while you're teaching.
Well, and I meant just for asynchronous.
Yeah. For asynchronous, the only thing that I'm trying to think, you have the ability to have the hotspot question types in Turning, and I don't remember. I know Canvas keeps updating their quiz features, and I don't remember if they have an ability to click on a certain point on a picture. I think that's the only question type that you can't do on the Canvas quizzes. I mean, my recommendation is do the Canvas quiz unless you need a feature in Turning, because honestly, it's easier to set up and you don't have to take that extra step of syncing your data back into Canvas.
Ms. Jarman, I use this Turning for the attendance because I have like 144 students.
Mm-hmm.
However, sometimes, for example, this Wednesday I had a lecture and then they said, I usually, the first thing is when I enter the class, I open the attendance through the Turning Point. And then some of the students came back to me and then they said, although they pressed the attendance button through their application, and then it came up as like absence. So does it happen very often, or is it common error? Because they didn't, I believe my students, but they emailed to me after class. They figured it out. Their records came up with absence. So I didn't have a chance to check in a physically whether they was there or not. But occasionally, student came to send me email to the Turning Point did not recognize my attendance. In that case, how can I? So far, I didn't. I said like, as long as you didn't come to in a class to me to see, hey, this is it showing up the absence, and then I can change. But once you finish the class and then you email me, I was there, but my Turning Point was not working. And then that was, I ignored, like I explained them, that's not gonna be, I'm not gonna change. However, this Wednesday, it's not only one student. There was several students email me like, hey, Dr. Yu, I was there, I did turning point, the attendance. However, somehow the data came up with absence. So I'm not sure whether, because we have 5% of the total point of the 5% is scoring due to the attendance. So
Yeah.
it's quite big portion. So the students are very sensitive of that. And then I'm also wanted to make sure everything goes smoothly. But have you heard about any problem with this?
The only time we've seen a problem has been with the random web outages, Wi-Fi outages that we've had. That could have caused something. I think, I don't remember seeing any web outages on Wednesday of this week. I think most of them have been taken care of, but it could have been reminiscent of that. The other thing that we've seen, do you have the geofencing, the GPS location turned on for your attendance?
What is that?
So in the attendance, you can actually turn on that they have to be within a certain radius of a GPS location.
I don't think so. I just click the attendance and then open the attendance and that's it. Let me check attendance setting. No, it's not the location based attendance. I didn't turn on this, and it's just I click the green button, like open attendance, and then it's automatically pop up, and then people can, click their attendance.
There we go. Hey, I got my camera to work again. Sorry.
Finally.
Yeah, it's started behaving. Let me talk to Turning. Let me send Turning an email and see if they have any issues that they've been reporting. Like I said, the only time I've seen it is when we had some of the Wi-Fi issues on campus recently, and then students that try to be outside the geofenced location. Now, one of the things we've noticed with that is sometimes in some of these buildings, if they are going off their cell signal as opposed to like their Wi-Fi, that sometimes that cell signal, because of the way these buildings bounce signals around, they think they're not in that vicinity. And it will prevent them from checking in there. But that's the only thing that I can think of. But I will definitely reach out to Turning. Let me actually
thank you so
make
much.
a note right quick to reach out to them. If I can. There we go. And let me write your name down so that I know to email you. But yeah, so I'll reach out to them and see if they have any reported issues with that recently. But you're the first one that has talked to me about it. So
because I think if there is any internet problem in the building, then other like 60, I got 70 per classes. So other 70 would not get the same attendance, but some of them only, complain about they did and they could not get it. So I think probably the cell signal that you mentioned, that might be one possible. But when I click the open attendance, is it only restrict students to do in that like Wi-Fi area, or they can do everywhere?
With the attendance open, unless you do the geofencing, they can mark attendance from anywhere.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
No, I was about to jump off. I just wanted to say thank you, Kortney.
Oh, you're welcome. I mean, like I said, my name is Kortney Jarman. My email is kjarman, KJARMAN. If you have any questions, if I can help you with this, please let me know.